Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Shawnee. Back with another episode of Shawnee Slab, the political spectrum of it all. So recently, Time Magazine just released its, 100 most influential people's list like they do every year. And for whatever reason, Gayle King made the list. Now, Gayle King is the same woman that interviewed R. Kelly and Asriel Clary as well as Joycelyn Savage, not too long ago. Now, before I even get into Gayle, I just want to say, Nightmare on Gale Street, because this is what it sounds like to me. That interview wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't. My thing is not in defense of R. Kelly at all. Period. Point blank. Period. But this should have been done 10, 15 plus years ago. So it's not like she did some groundbreaking investigative journalism as to where she broke the story. That might have been worthy of times most, because if she broke the story that this was all going on, nobody had any idea, we would be giving her praises because she would be the one who brought it to light. If people are finally able to do something about it. But because, she interviewed R. Kelly and Azriel Clay and Jocelyn Savage, after all the drama had ensued, that makes her Tom's most influential person. I guess because of her posture, right? People were saying, giving her so much praise of her posture and how she kept her cool. I didn't like the interview. I feel like the questions were biased. She was very disrespectful towards those young black women, Azriel and Joycelyn Savage. She was condescending towards them. And my thing is, if you're an older black woman, right, she could have used that time to, really school those young girls or to just give them some advice or just talk to them like, young black ladies like they're just like you. They're young black girls. You were a young black girl before. I didn't like that she tried to ask them questions about their sex life and, personal stuff that they wouldn't ask any other person. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand how she could, be one of Time's most influential people when she didn't do anything. Like I even Googled her name before I made the video because, I was reading, the listings and I'm like, okay, this is a nightmare. I'm like, then I had watched Your World. He had did a video talking about it, and I was reading the comments, and somebody had made the joke, and they were like, a nightmare on Gale Street, and I like that because that's exactly what it is. Why are we rewarding people for just doing interviews? Like, you remember back in the day when we had a such thing as traveling journalists where they would travel with the war soldiers and they would travel around the world, to break certain stories that, the media wouldn't cover. That's what you call, true journalism, investigative journalism, bringing the people the truth, no matter at what cost. That's why I specifically love the season of American Horror Story. Season two, that is one of the greatest seasons they've ever done because there were so many different plot lines mixed in, but the whole, Lana Winter character was a great example of, how old American, journalists used to be. It wasn't about celebrities and what they got going on in their personal life. It was about real shit that was happening in the world. And, those people would risk their lives to break that story. Like she got held in a mental asylum just to break the story that, the mental asylum was mistreating its patients and they were doing, crazy experiments and stuff. Like Gail King ain't do nothing like that. She's just a TV reporter. Like I don't understand what's so influential about her. And then, they also snubbed the shit out of hip hop. There was no mention of any hip hop artists. There were a lot of hip hop artists who've done a lot of positive things, like giving back and, doing things, to help the community, like there, and even with Gayle King, there are a lot of sisters that I could think of that could have been nominated, or, put onto that list. What about the women who give back? What about the women who open charities? What about the women who run free, um, free places where you can come for, refuge or, for someone to talk to, or, the women who run battered abuse shelters. There are great women out here who do very powerful and positive things that, time could have nominated, time could have nominated them for, but instead they chose Gayle King. Like, and then the thing about the media and that they don't understand is that we are very hip and very aware, especially the new black media. Like we understand what y'all are, what y'all purpose are, and what y'all do. Like the fact that y'all got her to interview R. Kelly and Ezra Clay Johnson Savage made, those two young girls look bad, embarrassed them on TV like they aren't young girls. Nobody cares about R. Kelly, but I'm just specifically talking about the young girls. I feel like that was rude and disrespectful and it was not called. I wish their parents were there. You do not talk to, young ladies like that. Especially, asking such personal questions like that. Shami, she didn't even really get into it. Like she don't know how to interview people because of her posture. Like we're not about to sit here. You can argue with me all you want to and say that I'm hating on a black woman or I'm self-hating, which I'm not. But like I said, I Googled her to even find out what else has she done to have gotten her on that list because we may be missing something, but there's nothing. So she interviews R. Kelly, Joycelyn Savage, and Azra Clay, and now all of a sudden she's one of time's most influential people. So it's like, are they giving people? You remember Hidden Colors when we learned, that black people are the only group of people that are rewarded for, exposing, embarrassing, or telling on other black people. Gayle King interviews R. Kelly and Jocelyn Savage and Ariel Clary, and now she's Time's most influential people, one of Time's most influential people. What about the woman, that just her makeup kit and everything, it just reached $1 billion? How the media lied and tried to make it seem like Kylie Jenner is the youngest billionaire ever. No, she's not. She's not. Her lip kit. I do your research. It hasn't even reached a billion yet. She's not. It didn't do that well. It didn't do better than Rihanna's Fenty, nor did it do better than the black woman's. I think her first name is Pam. I forget her last name. I don't really wear makeup or anything like that. But because I'm a guy, so of course. But there are a lot of black women who are out here killing it and doing it, and really pushing that pedestal. But yet and still, they're not getting the just due and the appreciation and the accolades they deserve. But Gayle King interviews somebody, and that makes her influential. What was so influential about the interview? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. It's just confusing. Like, somebody let me know why y'all, like, if you agree that Gayle should have been put on Time's most influential list. Let me know. And then also think about this. If that's the case, then why were there no hip hop artists on that list? It's like they're giving it. Well, we already know they give away awards. This is why I don't like when certain people say stuff and people try to ignore it because they don't like the person. When Azealia Banks said they really just be giving out awards for mediocrity, that shit is true. They really do give out awards just like that's mediocrity. Again, she did not, risk her life to, get the scoop or to, bring a story to the public that the media or, the country itself is trying to hide from the public. That's something that's influential because that means, no matter what, you was protecting the people. I mean, somebody let me know.